Hey Adam, so you got a lot more time in your hands, you're working a lot in the shop, and you're building things.
Yes, I am between jobs right now, and this is a lovely time, so I am spending a lot more time here. And there's two things that happen in here. Sometimes I'm working on props or costumes or stuff I want to do, but about half the time I'm just working on shop infrastructure. I'm looking around and seeing ways in which the use of the shop can be made more efficient by building stuff.
Yeah, that's how you built your tool rack for your To Hell With
My
Shelves,
F-drawers,
F-drawers initiative. And when we came here last week, you already had built this guy.
I actually feel a little guilty sometimes when I come in and build something for a whole day and don't film it at all. But that's what I did, and I made this. Now, this is a glue shelf. I use lots of glues. There's many different kinds. And as the base, I'm using an airplane food distributor. I've got JB Weld and tube epoxies, weld bonds, epoxy gun system, epoxy putty, silicone glues, cyanoacrylates, and all-purpose glues. And then up top, I've got my wood glue, my barge, my contact cement. But most specifically, the reason this was built is to have a place to use my hot glue guns and have them not actually drip all over my workbench, which is a real problem. So I built these racks for these to hold them in orientation, and because I have a crap ton of glue sticks, I actually made a glue stick dispenser. They load in the top there. This basically radically increases my efficiency in using whatever glues I need because I just wheel this over to where I need it.
Where did you get this guy?
These guys, so I bought this from a place called Faith Aerospace. They're up in Northern California. But these show up on eBay all the time, and I didn't get a great deal on them. I mean, they all cost about the same, between $250 and $350.
They have the casters, you have brakes on them.
Yes, so when you want to stop it, you put some red thing in it. It doesn't want to move. Yeah, turbulence. I will tell you that for heavy stuff like my acrylic weld bond glue drawer, the drawer slides are not spectacular, but it's hard to beat the convenience of being able to pull out a whole drawer and bring it over to your workbench.
And there's actually handles on both sides.
Yes. Oops. Go. Yeah. Orienting them is
F drawer still.
Yes, unfortunately, you do need drawers for certain categories of things, and glue is a terrific example of that. I've already used this several times since I built it, and it's proved incredibly useful.
And you just love building this top part. Does this whole thing come off, or just?
Yeah, the whole top part actually lifts right off, so you could put this somewhere else if you wanted to. But for right now, it's great. And I labored in my head over whether or not to actually make it wider than the cart. But the problem is that these cords, they wrap up around on the shelf. It just doesn't work. So I made these repositories for the shelves. And in fact, I will tell you, I'm quoting a famous movie iconic piece of equipment in these. Stanley Kubrick used a very specific type of director's chair. And in the Los Angeles exhibit and the exhibit that's traveling around the world, the Stanley Kubrick exhibit, his director's chair is part of it. And it has these two plywood boxes on either side for his scripts. And it says Kubrick. Now, I didn't go so far as to label this savage, but I am quoting Kubrick's director's chair with these side repositories for the cords.
Hot glue gun holster. Any differences between the two you use?
No, look, there's still some hot glue technology that Frank Ippolito wants to introduce me to, because there are multiple kinds of glue sticks for different solutions, and I didn't know about any of that. I just thought hot glue is hot glue is hot glue. This is my old gun. This is a newer one. They both work just great. I don't know if there's a specific difference between them.
I love that this is modular. You can build different tops for all sorts of purposes, whether it's for a glue tray system or for something else. You have more of these in the shop.
Yes, I do. I actually own like 4 or 5 of these carts. This I just put together this morning. This is my paint cart. Again, glues and paints, it's not like an everyday utility item, but I need them often enough, and I need to go find specific types of glues or paints often enough that having them on rolling carts makes sense. So now I've got my acrylics, my tubes, my oils, my rub and buffs, my weathering powders, weathering sticks, and my lacquers. Yes, my model lacquers. And I am about to build a upright container on top of this cart that holds all the paintbrushes, holds my airbrush, holds all my airbrush stuff in orientation up on top here.
So if you see these pop up in future one-day builds, now you know.
Yes,
Why we're here.
and we will actually have, so since that is literally what I'm doing after we're wrap here, I'll shoot a time lapse of this. We can put it over the tail end of this video. You can see my problem solving. I'm not exactly sure of the structure that it's going to take. I know it's going to come up. I know I want to include as many chip brushes as possible because I use these cheapo brushes a lot. I've got to use some weathering stuff like a sea sponge. I've got to have a place for some of my heavy gessos and big containers of paint, plus the airbrush, which might include a drawer, but if it does, I'm going to make it a clear drawer so I can see inside of it. There's a lot of problems to solve with this. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Well, thanks, Adam, for sharing with us your thought process, some of your tool building, and we'll let you get to building.
Absolutely, I will do. Right, one paint cart, yes. Now that the fasten seatbelt light has gone off, the flight attendant will head up the aisle and offer you whatever kind of acrylic, oil, or lacquer paint that you might need. Just let her know and she'll deliver it.